Should you follow a 1200 calorie diet for fat loss? I was introduced to 1200 calories for weight loss over 30 years ago. Back then, low fat was all the rage, so I counted fat grams in order to eat less. And since fat has 9 calories per gram, that helped my 12-year-old self easily cut enough calories to lose weight. Onward and upward, when I could no longer resist overeating my favorite snacks, I was introduced to Slim Fast shakes. I'm sure you remember the commercial. One shake for breakfast, one shake for lunch, and then a healthy dinner. By healthy dinner, they probably didn't mean the 2-cheeseburger meal from McDonald's, but I was only 12 and I had no idea how many calories these meals contain. Also, no 12-year-old girl should be drinking Slim Fast shake, nor should she be limited to 1200 calories. But I was heavier than my friends, so in my eyes, no diet shake plan was off limit. Plus, my mom didn't exactly realize I was sneaking her shakes while she was at work. Year after year, decade after decade, I continued to chase weight loss with low-calorie plans. And year after year, decade after decade, I always lost some initial weight, only to regain it all back when my cravings went out of control and I'd find myself binging on high-calorie foods. Of course, I always blame myself. These days, I know better. I finally understand that that's just how physiology works. When you starve yourself long enough, and yes, 1200 calories is a starvation diet for most women, eventually your body is going to revolt. Then you binge and give up because you're obviously weak and broken. But I promise that you are not broken. However, your 1200 calorie approach to dieting is. Now that I finally understand how sustainable weight loss really works, I want to share 3 reasons you're setting yourself up for failure every single time you start a low-calorie diet. If you're even considering eating 1200 calories a day, we need to talk. And after our talk, stick around until the end so I can show you how I've lost 40 pounds this year by eating more food. And that's even after my scale was stuck and I thought that there was nothing I could do about it. When it comes to a low-calorie diet, one reason to avoid eating 1200 calories a day is low-calorie plans result in yo-yoing weight. This happens because your metabolism adapts to your new calorie intake whenever you diet. So once you hit a weight loss stall, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. While you do need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight, drastically cutting calories at the beginning is a big mistake. And even if other women are boasting about their 1200 calories a day weight loss success stories, how many of these women maintain the weight loss longer than a few months? While a drastic deficit can help weight come off quickly at first, eventually your body adapts, and that's how weight loss plateaus happen. And since you cut your calories all the way down to 1200, there's nowhere left to cut from once you do hit a weight loss plateau. I mean, I guess you could try 1000 calories or even 800 calories, but when does it end? And how long can you stick to such a low-calorie diet without going crazy? Before you just keep cutting calories to starvation levels, stop and think about the metabolic damage that you're causing, plus the poor relationship with food that comes with low-calorie diets. Is that a path that you really want to go down just to shed a few pounds that you'll probably regain once your diet ends? When you take the time to set up a more reasonable calorie deficit where you aim to lose somewhere around half to 1% of your total body weight each week, then once your metabolism adapts to this deficit, you are going to have room to adjust your calories 10 or maybe even 20% lower if you do hit a weight loss plateau. Of course, if you want to build a stronger metabolism so you don't have to keep dropping calories, drop a line below and I'll send you the guide that I give my clients that helps them build a stronger metabolism for easier weight loss. The second reason a 1200 calorie diet for women isn't the best idea is most women will be so hungry following such a restrictive diet that your diet usually only lasts until the weekend before you end up binging. And the real truth is, all of this over-restriction during the week, it doesn't cancel out how much you overeat on the weekend. This is especially true if you're eating out, since even one high-calorie restaurant meal can wipe out your entire week-long deficit. As someone who tried my hardest to stick to 1200 calories per day for too long, I know exactly how the mental process works when it comes to low-calorie diets. On Monday, you are amped up and ready to start. You have weight to lose and you want to lose it now. And Monday, it Goes okay. I mean, sure, you're a little bit hungry, but it's nothing that you can't handle. Then you wake up Tuesday and you're ready to do it again. But now you feel a little bit hungrier and cravings for all of the foods that you gave up start setting in. By Wednesday and Thursday, it's harder to stick to your plan. Maybe you start sniffing the cookies that you can't eat, or you're daydreaming about the chicken nuggets that your coworker ordered from Chick-fil-A. But you don't give in because you want to get this weight off. And then Friday hits. Your diet is perfect all day long, right up until your coworkers go out for drinks. And since you were good all week, you treat yourself to a skinny margarita. And once you do, those chips look pretty good, so why not grab a few? Which leads to eating the entire basket, and heck, since you already screwed up, why not have another margarita? Or 3. Now you're hungover on Saturday, and you definitely need all of the greasy food to cure your headache. By Saturday night, you feel better, but you're already off track, so you may as well enjoy yourself. And who gets back on track on Sunday? I mean, have you ever heard of Sunday Fun Day? And then you feel bad about yourself, vow to start over on Monday, but by the next weekend, you're back into the same destructive dieting cycle. If you just ate in a more reasonable calorie deficit from the start, then you could have fit some of those fun calories into your plan. That way, you don't have to make the choice between a fun night out or sticking to a rigid diet plan. And willpower is only half the battle here. When you starve yourself during the week with a strict plan, your physiology kicks in, which can lead to binging on foods that are easy to digest in order to get in as many nutrients as fast as you can, basically so you don't starve. And even though we all know another fast food stop is right around the corner, your physiology hasn't quite caught on yet. So here you are battling both your willpower and your physiology, all because you followed a strict 1,200 calorie diet in order to speed up weight loss. Even though a moderate calorie deficit seems like you're taking a longer time to reach your goal, when you're not constantly starting over, you actually save time, like a lot of time. Plus, you will feel way better while working towards your goal. Reason number 3 that a 1,200 calorie diet for weight loss is a bad idea is eating only 1,200 calories per day is going to leave you with almost zero energy. When you eat so few calories, your activity levels drop. And when your activity drops too low because you don't have any energy, well, it won't be long before you're no longer in a calorie deficit. We covered this with point number 1, where we talked about how your body adapts to a low-calorie diet. Whenever you cut calories, it's easier to lose the weight at first because of the drop in calories. But since your body's job is to keep you alive, it adapts to this new level. One of the ways that your body adapts is with less movement throughout the day. So instead of getting up to go to the bathroom, maybe you chill out on the couch for a little bit longer because you don't feel like getting up. It's either that or watching a Mama June marathon on TLC is really that captivating. Or perhaps instead of blinking 15 to 20 times per minute, your body slows down blinking to only 10 times per minute. And while small movements like blinking or an extra trip to the bathroom don't sound like that big of a deal, all of your daily movements add up to the second biggest piece of the pie as far as calories out are concerned. And this is called neat calories. And since Dr. Huberman taught us that neat calories make up hundreds to thousands of daily calories burned per day, it becomes a pretty big deal when it comes to a fat loss deficit that actually works. And I've got bad news for the cardio bunnies who try to counteract this by forcing stressful cardio workouts to compensate. When calories are already at starvation levels and you add even more stress by adding in too much exercise, now you're dealing with unnecessary cortisol spikes. And these spikes are a diet disaster since they lead to cravings and poor sleep. And in case you didn't know, both cravings and poor sleep are enough to cancel out all of the weight loss efforts that you've made with a low-calorie diet. Worse yet, now you've lowered your metabolism from eating too little for too long. So once you go back to eating at a level where you're not freaking starving, that's when you regain everything you lost plus more. This is a major reason that most women gain back everything they lose after a strict diet. You're setting yourself up to be in a much worse place metabolically after ending your diet than when you started. Now, if you are throwing your arms up in frustration because you thought a 1,200 calorie diet was your last hope, I do have good news. This past year, I used a flexible dieting strategy where I went from eating somewhere around 1,300 calories for weight loss all the way up to 2,000 calories per day while still getting pretty good results. And while maybe your metabolism isn't quite there yet after years or decades of yo-yo diets, the good news is if I can do it, so can you. I use strategies like reverse dieting, like calorie counting, and calorie cycling to make weight loss after 40 easy. If you want to learn more about counting macros for weight loss with a flexible dieting lifestyle, be sure to watch this video. I show you everything that I've learned about a flexible dieting strategy that has changed my life. And if you're interested in accountability coaching that can change your life, check the pinned comment. I'll add the link to see if you're a good fit for my program where I teach you how to quit yo-yo diets forever.